Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock and it's April 14th, 2021. And my name is Casey Stubbs. I'm going to be here today trading live with you in the Forex market. Excited to have everybody here. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate that comment. It means a lot to me. Hopefully you're doing well. Let me get ready to get started. So today we're going to do a giveaway, and we have a new trading community, and it's not super new, it's newer. We just got some new software, and we're going to be giving away a 1-year access to that today if we can get the 30 shares on Twitter today. I'm going to give a 1-year subscription away, and that is valued at $997. So pretty high value prize for today, and it requires for you guys to share on Twitter because this is such a high value product that I want you to have a little skin in the game yourself and share something on Twitter. So I'm going to try to find that link, and we need 30 people to do it to be able to 30 people. We need 30 people to be able to share, and then if we get the 30, we're going to do it. But let me show you guys how to do it first. And today, 30 people. Today 30. In the setup, in the training, what we're going to do is I'm going to be talking about weekly charts, but I'm also going to go over some of the trades we did last Monday. It was really exciting on Monday because we did, remember, I just knocked all those trades out really quickly. We took like 5 or 6 trades. How many of you guys that did that actually made money? It was pretty cool because some of the trades went on to hit our targets, and as a result, I just random rapid fired a few trades, and we ended up making some decent pips on that. So that was kind of fun. And at least it was fun for me because we did some rapid fire trading and we rapid fire made some money. So let's go ahead and show you. Let me pull up a screen here. Let's take a look at the Twitter. So we're going to throw this link right here in the Twitter, and you can see we have 2 retweets already. We got to get to 30, and I said it was valued at over 1,000. It actually sells for $997 or $999, but it's really valued way more than that, to be honest, because it's like amazing. If I do say so myself, but you know, I don't necessarily want to be the one to toot my own horn. Okay, so we got what we have is, there we go. So what we have is 2 retweets, and all you got to do is click that link, and then you click this little retweet button, right? Boom, and then you retweet it, or you can quote and retweet, and it gets the word out there. And good, yeah, Paul was in on it. The USD Swiss went well. Actually, Paul, the CAD Yen went well. The Australian USD went well. And one of the trades really took off. I can't remember. I'd have to go back. The worst one was the gold trade. The gold was my biggest loser. But overall, they were all overall, it was profitable. So that was kind of fun, and it was a lower time frame, and we cranked out like 6 trades in a very short period of time. So that just goes to show you can make money on a lower time frame, right? And we weren't actually trading that long. We traded for about an hour. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, so anyways, you guys got to click retweet. We got to get to 30. So right now we've got 25 people online. So as the session progresses, some more people will come in, but we need as much participation as we possibly can. And if I can't get enough this week, we might try it one more week, but then after that, I might try for a lesser prize just to make sure that we get people participating. All right, well, let's go ahead and just jump in with the charts. So today I wanted to talk about weekly charts, right? And I did a video yesterday about weekly, which had some pretty good details, and that just was straight on the YouTube channel. I just opened up another platform here because I'm running quite a few platforms on my computer. So, okay. And that kind of distracted me for just a second. Okay. Yeah. So what was I talking about? Oh, weekly. Hey, Yugoslav. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming in today. So weekly charts. Let's talk about weekly charts. You know, we went all the way down to the 5-minute on Monday, and now we're going to talk about weekly. So the first thing that we want to do with weekly is the same as what we do on the 5-minute, is we find the trend. So this gold is pretty amazing trade, honestly, and it's setting up right now. Look at how interesting this is on a weekly. And there's some advantages and disadvantages to trading weekly time frames. So let's go ahead and hit those first. The advantages is screen time. Right? Screen time. What is the most valuable thing that each one of us possesses in our lives? The most valuable thing. And we could all disagree with this, but in my opinion, time. Time is super valuable, right? Because why? Because it's limited. It's on a limited edition. We always talk about that, supply and demand. Things go up in value when there's limited supply. Right now, if you're noticing in the world of construction, lumber is super expensive right now. The price of lumber is through the roof, right? Lumber prices. Let's look at this. Let's take a look at this, guys. This is just crazy. You can see right here, lumber price is up 193% and about to spike even higher. Okay, look at this. Boom. You see that? It's $1,000 per 1,000 board feet. Okay, and look where it was at before. It was like at 300 in January, and now it's at $1,000, right? So again, it says don't expect the demand to drop anytime soon. So what's going on is there's a lot of different things here, but it's the fact that it's limited, right? I'm from the West Coast, and I don't live in the West Coast. I live in Pennsylvania, but I was on the West Coast originally. That's where I'm from. And this summer they had massive fires, right? They had massive fires. And the fires were so bad, it stopped a lot of lumber production. And as a matter of fact, there was entire lumber mills with big supplies. Lumber. So Yugoslav, in America, I know where you're from. Good morning, Frog. In America, we use wood to build houses. And I have been in your area, and I'm not sure what you guys use. I can't remember if it was like stone or block or whatever, but we use wood, right? We cut down trees and we use wood. Not all houses, but a good bit. And so that they call that lumber, right? They call that lumber, timber, wood. And so right now to build a house using lumber, it's really expensive. So I say all that just to say that time, right? The benefit of using a weekly chart is time. And what is the time? It's limited. We have a very limited number of days on this earth, right? Even if you're an older person, like I'm getting older, I realize the older I get, the more I realize the value of time, right? It goes by so fast. You know what else? And this is just something I was thinking about this morning. It seems like as you get older, time goes by faster. And I know that's actually not true, but it feels like it because I'm looking at the date and it's April 14th. And I'm like, where did my week go? Where did my month go? Where did my year go? It's like every day you go to bed, you go to work, you wake up, and it just starts becoming a blur, and it happens so fast. And you look at your kids, you're like, wow, my kids are getting old. And then you look in the mirror, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm getting old, right? So time is really important, right? So I get trading at a screen and looking at the charts all day. I mean, that's what I do. And so it's not a big deal. I get to do it from during the workday, but at the same time, weekly is really nice because I can sit here and do a full analysis in 10 minutes, right? And we just start at the weekly level and we look at the trend. That's step one. Step two is I look for support and resistance levels, right? So I just identify them on the chart. I put a support level and I put a resistance level. You can see that right there, support and resistance. And you identify the levels. So I'm going to put in a trend line, right, which is another level, which is right here. So you can see we're actually getting into a possible trend line break, right? And you can see right here we have another, we have a channel. Okay, so this is a bullish channel, a bull flag. And when price breaks out of here, we can move up. Hey, thanks, Merle. Thanks, Merle. I appreciate that. And Ben, you realize the value of time, right? And so that's a big benefit of weekly charts because right now I have done the full analysis and I've been talking for 11 minutes and I've done like 2 minutes of analysis, right? So 2 minutes of analysis, right? So I know I've got a couple things that are pretty interesting here. You combine it with chart patterns. And you also look at trend lines and the trend, and you just throw a few things together. So first thing is we know the trend is up. We have support right here. We have resistance right here. We have a trend channel. So if we look at patterns, one of the patterns that I'm looking at right now is a bull flag, right? Dun, 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 dun. There's the flag, right? Bull flag. There it is. Bull flag, right? And bull flag. See that? Bull flag. That's the pattern. If you're interested in how to trade a bull flag pattern, you know what? I have a really good article on my website that you might want to take a look at. It's a bull flag pattern. And I'll show it to you. You can get into really in depth on that. And it's on my website, right? And I'll put the link in the chat. You guys can read this article, and it gives you a lot of instructions on how to trade it. And I've spent a lot of time building out good information on my article or on my website so that you guys can get the training you need. Okay, and that's what this pattern is. But if you want to do some independent research, go check the website, okay? All right, now, so that's it. Another pattern, right? And this is a smaller, so there's big, huge patterns like head and shoulders or bull flag, but then we have candlestick patterns, which is more of a price action style, right? Which is we looking for pin bars, right? So let's take a look. On the weekly time frame, we have this little guy. And I've pointed this out several times, but this is a double bottom, right? That's a double bottom pattern. We have a pin, and it's bouncing off of support, right? We have a strong support. We've got weekly. We've got this. It hasn't broken out yet, okay? It hasn't broken out yet, but it's looking like it wants to do it. So when I saw this double bottom and this pin, I was waiting for the breakout. Now, it almost happened last week. Almost happened, but it didn't quite make it, right? You see, it didn't quite make it. And now it's consolidating. So again, consolidation patterns are really important in trading. Why is it important? Well, because the market is just getting some room. It's recalibrating. The traders are trying to figure out, they're waiting, they're being patient, they're trying to get the best position. The money has stopped flowing as much, and it's accumulation of a position. And we don't know which way it's accumulating. It could be long, it could be short, but to me, the clues are pointing long. Right, so I'm anticipating long, and when I say the word long, for those of you that don't know what that means, long means buy. It's going to go up. I'm getting ready to buy. When you buy something, that's called going long. When you sell something, that's called going short. Okay, so. Right now we have consolidation, and if you've been on this channel, Mr. Ben, if Ben Z is bullish on gold, then I'm bullish on gold. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, I love gold, and I don't just love the physical gold bars because they're so beautiful. I actually like trading gold because it moves really nice. But right now you can see we had a burst here to the downside, and it's a pretty strong pullback because we were at 2062, okay, 2062, and it went to 1677, right? Pretty heavy pullback right into this range. That's pretty solid, and we could actually see that it's still, though, moving up, because that's what's another great thing about weeklies is you can see the movement, you can see the trend, and it's gone up a lot. And whenever you get a big uptrend, you get some downward moves. So let's talk about the current pattern, another little pattern, and I don't even know what this one's called, but it's when you get a consolidation and a breakout. One of my viewers asked me specifically to find out how to avoid fake outs. And one thing the market loves to do is it loves to fake people out. So one thing we could expect, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we could expect this, and we could expect a break to the downside and then a move up, right? Just because it likes to fake people out, and we do have this trend channel. Or another possible maneuver would be come down and then up here and then a breakout, okay? Or another possible move would come up here and then down here and then a breakout, right? And so I am anticipating the breakout, but I'm just trying to figure out how many different ways it could happen. And then that way, if I run through the different scenarios in my mind, and I can then think about how I want to trade it, because it's easy to do. Hey, Yugoslav, celebration, guys. Everybody hit the like button for Yugoslav. His first tweet. Although I know that it can't be your first tweet because you won our competition a couple weeks ago. So maybe it's your first tweet today, right? It's your first tweet today. Okay. So you can see right now we have this pattern here, and I'm looking at a buy setup, right? But if we anticipate the possible moves, we know what's going to happen, then we can focus on getting the trade, because it's easy to do analysis. What I'm doing right now is super easy. You could get a kid that doesn't have any experience to study charts for like a day, and they could do this, right? And I'm not knocking anybody's skill. Analysis, what I'm doing is easy. You guys might think I'm amazing, but this is actually really easy. The hard part is trading it. Okay, that's the hard part. So we want to run these scenarios and figure out how to trade it and then time it right. So that's why weekly charts are good. Let's take a look at some other weekly charts, right? Let's look at some more weekly charts just to have some fun with it. Another one that I think is pretty exciting on a weekly, and by the way, I'm going to get sidetracked, and I want to look at this US yen because it looks like it's making a move. US yen. Yeah, US yen is making a move. Look at this. And you see the MACD's crossing over. And if you're a newer trader and I'm just talking, you see it broke out, then came back down, and now it retested, and now it's breaking again. It's breaking this. So I like this trade, guys. On the hourly MACD, I kind of like this. There is some resistance to be looking at, and it just broke this resistance. So I kind of like this trade. One of the other, for those of you that have been on this channel, you know my strategy on this one, because I have a bull flag, right? You see this? This is a bull flag. On an hourly, it looks like a downtrend, but if we go to a daily, it looks like a bull flag. Yeah, and we're right off resistance. So I'm actually really sweet on this trade right now. I actually believe, let's look at it on a weekly, because we're talking about the weeklies. It's pulled into a pretty important support area, okay? So we're in an uptrend. Now, there's no weekly trade here. A weekly trade is definitely a no-no, because the weekly is saying down. So what we would need to happen, right? Terry, you need to check your computer. If everyone else can hear me, can everybody hear me? Let me know by hitting that like button. If I see 10 more likes, I'll know that you guys can hear me. And that Terry might have audio issues. Terry, check your sound. I think everyone else can hear. And when I type and I talk at the same time, that's how I do it. I'm like, check your sound, because Terry has no idea what I'm saying, but you guys do, because you guys can hear me. All right. Sorry for being a little crazy. This is not a signal, but this is a strong level, right? And let's zoom out here a little bit. I'm bullish on this. But you can see, what do we have? We have a, look at that. You see that trend line? You guys see that? Let's look at it. Okay, it popped right into the trend line. Wow. That is pretty impressive. The things that we see that other traders don't see when we're on a weekly time frame. Did you know that when you're looking at weekly charts, it's really a powerful levels? But did you also know that you are doing stuff that other traders don't do? I mean, there are some traders that look at, thanks, Reddy. Reddy's a longtime channel guy. I really appreciate it when he's on board. Thank you, Reddy. All right. Sound is good. Thank you, Pierre. Simo, I'm going to need some more information than that, because that just doesn't mean anything to me. It's like the alphabet with the question mark. If you have any more, if you can type out a little bit longer than that, that would be great. Okay, so we're in a really nice opportunity here. There's a big uptrend, and we have, what if anyone saw my tweezer video, let me go back to YouTube, go back to the basics. Let me show you guys my video here. And this is why you guys need to subscribe, right? But let me pull up this video, okay? This is how to trade candlesticks, make money fast. And I'll give you a little secret. Okay, Morse code, yeah. Okay, Simo, that's a little better. Now I can, now we're tracking. Now I understand what you're saying here. I appreciate that. Okay, you see that little candle? This is the video I did the other day. Go ahead and just go back and like that video for me. I appreciate it. We're almost at 1,000 views, which is pretty legit for me because I'm just a small-time YouTuber and I don't get a lot of views. But I was talking about this pattern, this tweezer pattern, right? Look at that little tweezer pattern, okay? And what do we see? Oh my goodness, we see a tweezer pattern, okay? We see a tweezer pattern, okay? So that means, and I was looking daily, and I'm loving this trade on the daily because it's a bull pattern. It's a bull flag. So it could easily be a fake out. It could go right back up here. The daily is saying, okay, we broke this trend line, pop up, break down. We have a bull flag, right? Daily saying bull flag. All the moving averages are pointing up, but we have some signs of negative. We have a MACD that's getting lower, okay? We have this break of this trend line happening, okay? The MACD is pointing lower. Everything on the up is up. So if we go to the weekly now, we go to the weekly, we see a tweezer pattern. Now, the thing about these tweezer patterns, and I talked about it in the video, if you want to go back in later time, if you want to go back and watch that video later, one of the things I talk about is that it might not be a long-term trade. It might not go forever, but usually it wins something. Okay, so let's look at it, right? And I talked about patterns, right? We remember the double bottom. Remember the double bottom? That's a kind of a hilarious drawing. But do you remember the double bottom I talked about on gold? That's a pattern. That's a candlestick pattern. This is another candlestick pattern, okay? Right here. The tweezers, the twin towers. Look at what happened right here when we got it. You see that? Now, they don't always work, but a lot of times they at least get you a little something. So I'm not saying that this is going to go back down to the bottom of the channel. I'm not saying that. It could reverse here and pop and then go. But what I am saying is that you always want to watch these candlestick patterns. And even this tweezer, if you would have taken this last week, you trade on a Friday or Monday morning or whatever it is you decide to trade with the weeklies. You can trade it on a Monday morning or you can trade it on a Friday. Here's the thing about it, guys. This is a really interesting scenario, but it's the fact that you would have made money. You would have gotten 89 pips on this week. Your stop loss was probably up above here, 150. So it's not quite a one-to-one, but it still would be in profit right now. And there's no signs yet saying that this is a down move, right? So we have two things. We have a resistance, we have a tweezer pattern, and ultimately we have a downtrend, right? Because this is a super long 5-year, longer than 5 years, a 7-year downtrend, and it's bouncing off of this level. Okay, so it is definitely a signal, and I don't know if it's going to break. I don't know. But I do know that if you're going to follow the trade, this is a winning setup, right? Let's look at some of the past setups. And we look at the past, as I said before, to see what could happen in the future. Look at these setups in the past, okay? A tweezer here. You see that? And these are weeklies. Here's a bullish candle, a bearish. Boom. Look at that. Okay. Well, look at this. Pin bar, drop. Candle, drop. Okay. Here's a pin bar, drop. Okay. You see all this stuff that's going on. All on this chart. All on this chart. Okay. Here's another one. Boom. Drop. Here's one. drop. So right now in the past 6 years, every single time this setup has happened, this is a winner. Every single time this is a winner, right? And so this, patterns work great on levels. They also work great in conjunction with a trend. And it's just good to analyze these things and to learn. So we do have a MACD getting higher. There's no sign of lowering yet. But if we wallow around in here a little bit, we'll start to see this MACD start to turn. Okay, but right now it's still moving up. But as you can see, it's already made the turn on the daily. It's already made the turn on the daily. So when I look at this on the daily, I'm like super pumped saying this is a bull flag and we could break out. But when I look at it on a weekly, it's a totally different thing. It's a different perspective. When you see something different, then you have to realize that it's a different perspective, and you want to keep all the perspectives in the back of your mind. So I might trade this long. I might be watching this on an hourly time frame, and I might trade this long knowing that it's a bull flag, but it got rejected. And I might say, okay, this is going up right now. And but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, that weekly chart is bearish. It could get smacked at any time, right? And that's why you want to be aware of your trade. So I'm going to answer Chris's question in a second. Everyone stay tuned for that question. But in the meantime, we're going to do a promo break. And we're at 9 retweets, guys. We got to get to 30. We got to get to 30. If you get to 30, we're doing a giveaway for our Master Trader course. It's a course with a community and lots of awesome trades. And some of you that are here are actually in there, and you guys know how awesome it is. And you can, chime in and tell everybody. You don't have to just take my word for it. But we got to get this up here, guys. So I'm going to post this link in here, and we're going to post the link. So you just click that link, and then we actually have 52 people online, which is pretty good. If every single person comes in and does this share, we're gonna be able to do a giveaway, a 1-year giveaway valued at some big money. Now, here's the thing. Don't do it if you don't ever want to trade Forex or if you don't want to be serious. Like, I want to get 30 people to do it, but I'm actually interested in getting 30 people that are interested in this course because it is life-changing. And if you get in it, you're going to really benefit from it. But I don't want you just to do it if you're not serious, right? Because we only want serious people in there. Yeah, we got 10. We got 10. And so good job, guys. Good job, good job, good job. All righty. So let's go back to the chart, and we're going to answer Chris. Chris says, what do the black dots mean? Okay, so the black dot is a secret proprietary tool that is a no-loss system. It's 100% win rate. If you get a black dot, you just take the trade. Okay, you'll never lose if you get a black dot. It's a 100% win rate. You're actually guaranteed to double your profits in 2 days or less with the black dot. It's called the black dot system, and it never fails. Okay, I'm really stupid, and I'm telling some dumb jokes, and I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm joking. The black dot is just an indication that price is topping out. That's all. Does it mean that you're going to win? No, but it's just something to look for. If you get a black dot and you get a pattern, well, that's a good sign. And especially if it's in the because the black dots actually fail a lot. It's just a clue, right? It's just a clue. Sorry, Chris. I know you were super excited. Chris is like, yes, finally. I say that because all these marketers tell you that, and then people get all crazy, and that's what happens. But it's really a good tool because watch, you see this and you see that, and then you get that pattern, the twin tower pattern, and then a drop, right? Here's another one. You get up, you get tiny candles and then a drop, right? And you get some signals here and then a drop, but it doesn't always work, guys. That's the thing. So you have to do risk management and all that fun stuff too. On the other side of the coin, we got a black dot here. It moves up, black dot here. See, this one didn't do so well, right? You got a black dot and it moved up, but would you have been out of this trade? Probably not, right? You might have got in here and it goes up 5 pips and then you end up getting stopped out. So here's a big old L. So you already know I was full of it when I said the system doesn't lose. So yeah, here's another one. This one here, black dot, it moved up, but then it collapsed. So you might have been out of the trade. You might not have. It depends on your moving out. It depends on a lot of things. It's like the peak of the wave, but we don't know if the waves, a lot of times when the black dot hits, like on a lower, this is a big MACD drop, right? And there are 3 waves, wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. And there was really not much of a reversals here. And so that's one of the reasons why trading in the direction of the trend is really solid. So if you have a downtrend, you'd rather wait for the green black dots than do the red black dots, because these trades would have been hard to win. These 3 trades would have been hard to win. This one wouldn't have been. The last one was pretty good. So if you get in a situation, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 black dots, and on the 4th one, it was a big winner. The rest were not so good. So this is 3 losers and 1 winner, right? So obviously the black dot system is trash, okay? But trading is, trading's not you're not going to get a magic formula. There's not a magic wand in trading. I can't tell you that, you follow the deal and you're going to make a ton of money, but it's all about your discipline. And I hate to use the D word, right? Because, oh my goodness, that's like telling you that you can't eat ice cream every day, all day long, right? And look, I tell my kids that, but us adults, we don't want to hear that, right? Kids are like, oh, I can't eat ice cream all day. But once you're like 25, I'll do what I want. I'll eat ice cream every day. But yeah, discipline, right? Discipline's important. And I know traders hate that word, but you got to manage your risk, right? It's the only way. Risk management is the way. This is the way. If any Mando fan out there, which I'm a huge Mando fan. I love that show. Okay. Check this out. We got the pin bar, price is moving, black dot, and the MACD still getting ready to cross over. Okay. So you can trade it. You can do whatever you want, but you got to make sure that you really have an understanding of your risk management, your targets, your win percentage, and tracking all of that. It's really about tracking, adjusting, tracking, adjusting, tracking, and adjusting. And I'm actually thinking about doing a YOLO trade for everybody if you guys want to do a YOLO. Anyone know what a YOLO is? What's a YOLO? YOLO. Actually, that's a big thing right now in trading. And it's YOLO, you only live once, which is basically putting all your money on your trade, losing the trade, and then getting depressed and living in a state of black depression for the rest of your life because you did a YOLO, right? So I'm trying to send as many people into black depression as I possibly can by doing YOLO trades. Just kidding. Okay, I'm on a roll today. You guys hit that like button. I'm on a roll today. You're either going to hate me or think I'm decent. I don't know. But yeah, YOLO is not the way that we do this. We don't do YOLOs. We don't have winning systems. We do have winning systems, but we analyze, we use trading discipline, we use money management, right? This is the things we do. And it's not just broke, but it's literally depressed. I was just reading about a trader that did a bunch of YOLOs and he ended up killing himself. And I'm going to talk about I talk about that on my podcast in about 3 weeks. I just recorded an episode on it. So yeah. Okay. So let's go back to the basics. I want to talk about the another weekly trade that I thought was pretty cool. And it's euro pound. Let's go to the euro pound. Okay. Now, here's something really cool about this. Okay. This is, let's go to a weekly chart. Now, how many of you guys were into the euro pound? Have any of you guys been into that at all? Hit that like button if you have. Okay. Euro pound has been pretty weak, as you can see. It's been going down, for about 13 weeks in a row. And then we get this insane weekly candle. Okay. Now, look at what happened the last time we got one of these. Okay. The last time we got one of these, which is like this insane weekly candle, it really didn't mean anything. You see this? Like, this is a huge bullish move, but there just wasn't any follow through on it, right? There wasn't any follow through. Okay. This was a weekly candle that was 347 pips, but there was no follow through. And so the question is, what's going to happen this time? See, again, there's no, I don't know. Like, this was 340 pips and then it went straight down. Right here, though, this went 280 pips and then it went up after that, another monster move, right? So I'm feeling like we could be going up here, though, because a couple things that has happened. We broke a trend line. Okay, we broke that trend line. See that solid trend break last week? And, I read the fundamental news. You guys might not know this because I don't talk about it, but I do read the fundamental news. And you know what everybody's saying? They're saying the euro is down because they're not getting vaccinated as fast as the UK. So expect the UK to grow over the pound. Well, you know what? That can change really fast. Vaccinations are coming out. All the experts are saying short the euro because of vaccinations. And honestly, I just don't buy into the news. A lot of times I don't really care about news, guys, because I think please bear with me here, but I think a lot of times the people in the news don't know what they're doing. And I'm one of those guys where, because I have a lot of issues, and one of them is I am kind of a know-it-all, right? And my wife will tell you that. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about asking Google. Just ask my husband because he seems to know everything." And so I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on my humility a little bit, but you guys can help keep me in my place. I just think that they're a bunch of bozos, right? And so if they're saying one thing, you usually want to do the opposite. Yeah, Ben's right. The talking heads. Like, that's what I call them, the talking heads. I think they're just ridiculous. And sometimes they do it on purpose too. That's the other thing you got to remember. Think back to Bill Ackerman last year in like March when the pandemic hit. Bill Ackerman's the big hedge fund manager, and he's telling everybody that it's the end of the world and that the markets are going down and that everything's terrible. And he's on TV, and CNBC, which is the business news channel, they post the whole thing and the markets tank. And all of the time he's buying up stocks, right? He's buying up stocks while he's telling everybody that it's the end of the world. And so, he totally manipulated the markets and made like $8 billion, right? So you just got to look at what's happening behind the scenes when you pay attention to the news. So right now, the news guys are like, oh, vaccines, that's where it's at. The UK is getting vaccines, and there you go, right? Yeah, he was making money shorting, and then he went the other way. It's just crazy. So anyhow, I don't know what's going to happen. But I do see the black dot, right? We got the black dot. We got the trend line. We got divergence, right? We got lots of cool things happening. And so I think that we have a pin bar here. So I bet there's an opportunity on a lower time frame. You go to a lower time frame, there's an opportunity here, right? So we have consolidation. We actually broke out here. We're above this moving average. And so I don't know what's going to happen. So let's look at some possible scenarios. We could consolidate and then drop and then go. So that could be one thing that could happen, because we got this trend line, right? And we know that this happens a lot. It breaks, gets and then takes off, right? So that's a possibility, right? It's definitely a possibility. And I honestly am leaning towards this moving up a little bit. And yeah, fundamentally the euro's really weak, but that could change really quick. Because why? Because the price patterns will show you what's going on. Okay. Yeah, central banks are behind this, you know, and honestly, fundamentally, I thought the dollar was I honestly thought the dollar was total trash, and yet it's been going up, right? It's been going up, the dollar. And I think it's trash because of because of the inflation that we see happening. You can see the dollar is not really, the buying power of a dollar is really getting weak for those of you that are in the USA. And the stimulus is really weakening the dollar. I don't really follow the other countries on what they're doing with their stimulus, but I know the dollar. But you know, Merle was talking about the central banks. They're doing it on all economies, right? And that's why Bitcoin's doing so great, by the way, and crypto, because of that manipulation that's going on. And you know, they can't manipulate crypto, and that's why they all say it's terrible. The central bank from Europe. Let me see if I can pull that up. The central bank, and I'm not a fundamental guy, right? I'm not a fundamental guy at all, but the central bank from Europe was talking trash on crypto. Let me pull up the tweet on Twitter. It's pretty funny if you look at it. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay, so this is talking about the central bank, and they're like, right here, in order to introduce a digital euro, a great deal of preparatory work. Oh, this Bitcoin does not fulfill the basic properties of money. It's a speculative asset without any recognizable fundamental value and is subject to massive price swings. Trust in cryptocurrencies might rapidly evaporate, causing disruption in the financial markets, right? Okay, so this is like what this European Central Bank is saying, okay, that it doesn't fulfill the basic properties of money. Okay, now, again, talking heads, right? Even the central bank is a talking head. They say this stuff because why? Because they're afraid of the crypto, because they can't control it. They can't manipulate it, right? It's a speculative asset without any recognizable fundamental value. That's really kind of crazy. Think about how trashy the euro is in real life, like how bad it is. It's terrible. You know, think about how bad the dollar is, like what they're doing, right? They hate crypto. That's why they say criminals are the only ones that are using it, right? They say that criminals are the only ones that are using it. But here's the thing, okay? You need to really look at the definition of criminal, right? Average people that want to just give their friends money, is that a criminal? Well, in their eyes it is, because they can't track it. In my mind, I think that they might be confused as what a criminal actually is. I think that if they looked at the real definition of the criminals, they might actually be looking in the mirror and that they're the criminals, right? Okay, so now you have my opinion on fundamental analysis. This is why I don't pay attention to fundamental analysis. I think you got these, I think they're, you know, power corrupts, right? Power corrupts. So, and I think the corruption in the ECB is pretty rampant. Okay, and all the central banks. All right, so enough of the fundamental stuff. I don't usually talk about that, but I just thought it was kind of funny. And anyhow, so this is a nice little chart. It had a pretty strong influx of buyers right here. It's going to need to pick up more buyers, right? That's really what's going to happen. Hey, thanks, Hugo. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, man. I really do. And you're doing great things. You're doing great things. So we need to pick up buying power. Must have been a lot of money in here, right? In order to push this up, a lot of money had to happen, because in the past, every time it tried to push it, it got rejected. Look at this one, rejected. Look at here, rejected. And this was a powerful force. And so a lot of people were paying attention to this, a lot of money. And here's what I'm thinking. A lot of the money that's still here is still holding this, right? Because why? Because whoever was behind this, you know, they want to push it even higher. these bigger players that are pushing, they go for longer trades, right? They are looking for something probably like up here, right? So they're looking for bigger moves. So there's a lot of money that push that up. Now, right now, the weaker players might be getting out of here and it might pull back again. But I'm going to be watching for another breakout to the upside. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So that's my idea on that. Yeah, 5 minutes of fundamentals would probably give me a headache, dude. Paul, I don't want a headache. You know, here, hit Paul. I do read them. So I'm guilty, but honestly, I keep myself away from that because it's trash, right? News. I don't read news because it's trash. I keep the trash out of my life. I try to fill myself up with good stuff, right? And get the trash. Here's a lesson for you. Get the trash out of your life, okay? I'm actually going to post that in Twitter. I'm going to post that in Twitter. You guys can retweet that, or you can leave a comment telling me that I'm crazy. But here, you guys can watch me tweet live. Get the trash out of your life. There you go. Financial wisdom, life wisdom coming to you directly on Twitter. Get the trash out of your life. Boom. Like that post. All right. But yeah, get the trash out. Filter yourself. Don't listen to the trash. That's just what it is. Okay. So we're going to go back. Ben is trying to get me on point. So thank you, Ben. Look at that bullish weekly engulfing candle. Are you talking about this? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's why I brought this up. Yeah. Yes, sir. It's powerful, right? And so now we have a little bit of a pause. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work. Last time it paused and dropped. But I think that last time it was high up and it was up into a resistance point. Now we're down, right? So I think that's the big difference. And so I think this is going to be a good trade. So I'm just going to be watching it, and I'm going to be taking trades whenever I get breakouts. Right now on the hourly, it's still moving up. So the ways that I'm probably going to be trading this is I'm going to be watching for bounces down here and watching to take it up. So anytime it comes down, we go to a 15-minute time frame. Oh, and by the way, if I didn't tell you guys this, this is for educational purposes only. My opinion is my opinion, and it doesn't mean anything. This trades are for educational purposes only. Trading is risky, and I'm not doing trade calls. Only trade with money that you can afford to risk, right? So I'll be watching this for bounces, looking for pops up. That's how I'm going to be trading this. So even right now, the MACD is moving lower. So it would ideally, I like to trade an uptrend with the black dot to the downside. So right now, if I'm looking at Euro Pound and I think that it's up, yeah, it's got to break again. It's got to break up. See, that's the crazy thing, is the thing covered 6 weeks in 1 week. That's trading. You know, you're consistent, you're grinding, you're doing the right thing, you're managing your risk, and then all of a sudden the thing goes out from underneath you and it pops. The market, you never know what's going to happen. Okay, let's take a look at the giveaway, guys. Let me go back to my Twitter. Post that link in the chat again. We got Ready tweeted. Ready's a good person. Okay, we're got 13, so we're not going to get it. Looks like we're out of time. We need 18 more. We have 54 people on the live right now. So if you can't tweet, maybe you don't want, maybe you don't want it. But if you can't tweet, at least hit the like button, please. At least hit the like button. Okay. All right. Let's go look at some more charts. So that's the Euro Pound. And so weekly, hopefully, Yeah, Ben, you guys are like me. You guys are in the bad boy club like me. Okay, okay. Uh, yeah, I am. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go here. So we had gold. One other thing I wanted to mention about gold here is that we do have the MACD is getting lower as well, right? And I'm just going back to that. MACD is getting lower on gold. So again, on gold, I've actually been having a lot of fun with gold because anytime we get a pullback, I've been going long and it's been working out really well. As you guys know, you guys on this channel know that. And so, you know, just look for these moves here. This was a nice one this morning, which I did not trade because I was not looking at my chart. But, you know, anytime you get a black dot, start looking for pullbacks. So right now, we could be rolling over. And so just if it rolls over and comes down here, just be watching again, you know, just watch. And that's kind of how I like to trade. I just find the trend and then I wait for the pullback and then I go for it. And it's not super complicated. It's really not. It's just that it just takes, there's just so many little things. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I like to have a little fun, but we can't get offended. You know, we got to have thick skin. I was actually listening to something on the way in today, on the way into work about being offended. The reason I've done pretty well in life is because I don't get offended, right? I just don't, right? Because life's too short to get upset when somebody says something you don't agree with. Like everyone should be allowed to have their own opinion. And even if somebody does something mean to me or bad, you know, you just got to roll with it. You know, it's just the way that it is. So, you know, if you get offended, that's okay. Don't watch somebody you don't like to watch, right? Don't hold a petition to stop them because they said something you don't like. All right, now I'm really going crazy. Okay, I got to be done. Yeah, I love construction. I actually crave it. So please give me some good feedback. All right. So Lorena is a serious person, and I appreciate that. Does the MACD dashboard show when the black dots appear? You know, the dashboard, we're gonna update that pretty soon. But the dashboard actually has a lot of stuff on it. And I don't know if I had the dashboard up. I do. Okay, so here's the dashboard. The dashboard has a lot of things, and I'm going to be updating this real soon because the problem with the dashboard is that it's got a little bit too much information on it, right? And it's just really, it's really overwhelming. And so we're trying to keep things simple here. So, and this is an extra product for some people that buy stuff, but the product is actually free, the indicator, but if you want the dashboard, which gives you all of the trades happening, you have to pay. But really the best way to use this is you look at it on your time frame on the hourly, or let's say this is how I used it for Monday. If you guys go back to Monday, I look at it on the hourly and then I try to take the trade on the 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, so we see XRP is moving, and so we want to go in and see if we can catch a trade. We see pounds moving. You see pounds really a strong green. So you can click on it. It brings up a chart and you can see pounds moving real strong. And so then you try to pull up there we go. So pounds really moving up. Now I'm going to try to catch a trade, right? So it's overextended, you can see on the hourly. And so the question is, am I going to try to catch an up trade in the continued direction of the trend, or I'm going to take another version? So in this situation, since we're trading weeklies, we're going to be watching how this MACD is getting lower. Let's look at it on a daily. It's negative and it's starting to go back up. So the pound is actually in a it's in a bullish channel, or you could call it a wedge, right? Or a channel, you know, however your eyes see, because everybody's eyes see differently. But if we get a breakout here, we could continue. You know, the MACD is showing the black dot, but it's already dropped, right? And so if this is one of those wave types, sometimes you get a wave. So here was a black dot, and then you see what happened? The black dot, it went lower, the price went lower, but then it spiked again. So we could get another spike on this, but we can just be watching here and use this weekly channel to say, okay, I'll trade within this channel, but when it breaks out, I'm going to be looking for a breakout trade to possibly get back up to the top, right? But especially now, because the daily, it's starting to lower a little bit. You know, we could see some things happening here. Yeah, absolutely. Ben's right. You know, the dots, honestly, the dots, these dots do, they disappear, right? So if you get a dot, sometimes a dot will happen, but then, okay, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. And Ben brought out a really good point. So the black dot shows up, okay, right here. Now, if the black dot shows up and a chart and the price keeps moving, sometimes that black dot will disappear on the chart and they'll redraw it later. Okay. And the reason that is because the price action dictates. And so the price action says, okay, it's still going. And so the black dot is going away. So the black dot indicates that price is starting to go lower, but then if it doesn't, well, then it won't, it'll erase, right? But the ones in the back are always that way, okay? And the reason we do that is because you have to be able to see when the setup is forming. So you have to use it in conjunction with price action and trend, which I had already said. I just didn't mention that the black dot can disappear. And I have traded that when it disappears, but you know, ultimately you'll need to be out of the trade by that time because you're going to be managing your risk, right? So so that's how that works. So we didn't actually take any trades today, but I did some analysis on a couple pairs. I shared some of my key feelings, and so hopefully that was valuable. If you enjoyed any of that, hit the like button. But if you hated it, go ahead and hit the like button too. So that would be fun. All right. Either way, just hit the like button, and let's go back to the retweet. So we did 13 retweets, not as good as we normally do, but we're, you know, this is a work in progress. We're getting there. We're making some improvement. You know, last Monday, we had a lot of people online, so we didn't quite, thanks, Ben. I appreciate your interaction. I appreciate everybody who is participating. So thanks, guys. Oh, we just got oh no, Bill. Bill, you must have done something really bad, right? Twitter punished you. Twitter punished you for being a bad boy. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. To be honest, here's my real opinion. If you got suspended by Twitter, you probably did something good. Just kidding. Just kidding. Hey, we did 100 messages today, so we had a really good, participation. Thank you for learning. Thank you for being on board. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy it, hit the like button. No matter what, just hit the like button. And I am not going to be here on Friday because I'm going to be pouring concrete. So normally I'm here on Fridays. I'm going to be pouring concrete, and some of you guys do that kind of work, right? And that's hard work. And so hopefully I don't die. Hopefully you guys see me on Monday, because I don't, or maybe I'll post a video on Saturday, but I don't want to die pouring concrete. I used to do that for a living. I used to pour concrete for a living, and I'm going back and I'm doing it, and I'm not building a new headquarters, but I'm helping some friends. Actually, at my local church, they're building a shed in the back of the church, and they needed somebody to help with the concrete, and they asked me, and so I'm helping them. And like I said, I hope I don't die, because manual labor is not my thing. I used to do it for a living, and now every time when I see the guys out doing it, I'm like, wow, I am so thankful that I don't do that anymore. I really appreciate those hard workers out there, and because it's hard work, and I really appreciate them. Because, you know, here's what makes it really hard. If you've ever like filled up a wheelbarrow full of concrete and then you wheel it like in a lot of different areas, that concrete's so heavy that it really it takes a lot of strength. And also the fact that you know, raking it or shoveling it is really hard. And then, you know, nowadays I like to joke. I'm like, okay, guys, I can't do any manual labor because I have to take care of these hands. Do you see how soft these hands are? It's like, I can't do any real work because I got to type on the keyboard. I got to click my mouse. I got to take care of these hands. So I joke with all my working friends about that. But I still, you know, despite not working for a long time, I can still hold my own despite that. Okay. All right, guys. I am going to take off. But again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. You guys have been a great audience. And let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing it. We're going to get to the point where we get those 30 retweets. You know what? We don't hit our goal today, but we're going to do it. We're going to keep pushing forward, and eventually we're going to make it happen. So that's it for today, and we'll talk to you guys really soon. Thank you.